Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on your geographic location. How are you doing today? This is Pranav from DBS Diary. I have been covering videos from last few months. That was for the Sybase and for SQL Server. So if you do like them, please like, and if you have any feedback for me, please do comment. And in case you want to receive alerts, subscribe and press on the bell icon, red bell icon. Okay, so let's start. Today we are going to cover an important topic which actually I have encountered in the recent past, and I thought I will share with you, and that could be helpful for you if you are supporting replication, Sybase replication. Okay, so the problem statement is you have to restart replication. Suppose the replication failed. Okay, you have to restart the replication without affecting other replication. I mean, you have two setup of replication. One is to one server, which could be reporting server, and then you have another replication which is pointing towards secondary server. That could be DR setup. Okay, so what happened in my case is we have configured a reporting server in the recent past. Okay, and the few of the procedures which was having set replication of command inside the procedure. So once it is there, while this procedure was getting executed, so underlying command or underlying table operation was not being replicated to the secondary server, to the reporting server or to the DR server, right? So those tables which was there on secondary servers, they were having old data, right? So when we enable this command set replication on, then what happened is now these tables will have their own primary keys and they will have their own set of keys, right? So it will be dependent. So we have a case wherein we have a monthly statement, right? So what does that do? It deletes the previous month's record and reinserts fresh set of records having same key but different month, right? I mean, as you know, I am working in the bank, so we have account statement every month which is generated, right? So in that one, what happens is we have like thousands of customers, and each customer will have number of transactions. It could be starting from like 10 to 100, or it could be even more than 100 transactions in a month, right? So in that case, when we generate the statement of account or statement of customer for that particular month, so it has to delete first records of previous month, and then it has to reinsert the record for the current month, right? So it will have same set of customer number, mobile number. So these will be part of primary key. And as I said earlier, before we did not have replication enabled. Now replication has been enabled. So the tables which is in the primary and in the secondary are not in sync, right? Now it is trying to delete the record, okay, which may not be there, okay, or trying to insert the record which is already there. So replication started failing, and it's not for one customer. We have like so many customers. So it was trying to generate that statement through the log, and then it was transferring to secondary server, and it started failing. And then I checked the error log. What I see is there is primary key constraint error. Okay, either it has been unable to insert the record because it's already there, or it is trying to delete the record which is not there, right? So this is what happened. Now I checked with the supporting team, like how critical is that table, and whether any changes at DDL level can be done in order to make it successful, the replication to go successful. So they said, no, it's not that critical. We can reinitialize the table in case something goes totally wrong. So what did I do is I dropped the primary key, so that in case something is being inserted, okay, for the first time, whereas the record is already there, it will not fail, right? So that went through, but then it was trying to delete something which is not there. So then we had no other option but to skip those transactions, right? So we did that, but then it was already there in the queue, like so many transactions that it was really going to, hard on the network and hard on the other sides. Like the queue was getting fully occupied, and it was slowing down the other parts, like other databases which is being replicated from the production to DR or to reporting server. So we had all these things. So somehow I managed to keep the replication up and running for reporting server, because reporting server is basically on the same data center where the primary resides, whereas the secondary server, which is the DR setup, is on the different data center, as it is normally the case. So in that one, what happened is we suspended the replication a few times. We resumed the replication with no skip transaction, or we did something wherein it was required. And since it's on the same data center, so it was able to catch up. And the setup that we have is MSA, multiple subscriber agent. Okay, multi-subscriber agent. That is for the reporting server. But for the DR setup, what we have is warm standby, right? And warm standby, as I said, is on the DR setup. On the DR setup means it's on the different data center. So we were unable to handle that. So then what we had to do is we had to re-initialize the replication between production and DR without impacting the reporting server replication. Okay, so the problem statement in one line, if I say re-initialize the replication between primary and DR server or secondary server without impacting the replication between primary and reporting server. Now we have two, you can say subscriber. Okay, one is DR, one is reporting, and we have only one publisher, which is primary. So one setup should not be affected. That should have real-time replication through MSA, and the second one we have to cut it off and we have to reinitialize the replication. This is the statement. Okay, this was the first time that I was doing, so I thought I will document it and then I will share with you the steps which was performed, and thankfully this went fine. Okay, so I hope you will like this, and you can use it for your you can say for your environment, and let me know in case something doesn't work out, right? Okay, so let's go through the setup steps which I have followed. Okay, so I have given the heading like configure DR replication for warm standby without interrupting MSA replication. Okay, so the first thing that why it is required is the queue is getting fully occupied. You don't have much in the queue. You don't have much bandwidth remaining in the queue, so others are getting affected. And once the queue gets fully utilized, then you will have impact on the primary server. So we should avoid that, right? So first thing that we have to do is we have to go to replication server, telnet replication server. Okay, then you connect to that the database there, replication server instance, right? So in that I have given DBA underscore login, generic login, which you have to use having DBA permission, having sysadmin permission. Okay, so you need to first suspend the connection, okay, to secondary server database name. So this will be actually the LDS name. Okay, so you do suspend that. Once you do, then you will see that it got stuck, because you have a transaction which is being executed on the secondary server. When you suspend it, it will try to roll it back. Now that rollback is not an easy task to do. So it will be like suspended. It will be like stuck, not suspended. You try to suspend it, but actually it got stuck, right? So when it got stuck, then what you can do is you go to secondary server, which is DR server, and then just find the process for that particular database and then kill it, right? So once you kill that, either you can use the SPID which is there, or you can find it based on server name, or you can find based on the login name, whichever works for you. Okay, so do that. So we in case of spend correction gets stuck, it will not be in case, it will be stuck. Okay, this is for sure. I have done it multiple times and I have seen that. So you do that and then you just kill that responsible process. Once you do that, then it will give you the like next it will come to the next line. The cursor will start moving and you will see that it has been suspended. Okay, once it is suspended, then and you can cross check that by checking the error log of replication server. Okay, then you drop the connection. First you suspend, then drop the connection. So you do drop connection to LDS, the database name. Okay, once this is done, then you will see that this will again take a while. Okay, depending on the queue size, depending on how much data was lying in the queue, and it is lying for how long, and how fast is your server. Okay, and what is your network bandwidth. It depends on so many things, so many factors. Okay, so once you issue the command, you need to wait, and you will see that something is happening in the background, but you will not see anything here on that on the replication server. What you can see is if you log into, if you go to if you telnet to RSST server, see replication, then RSST. So on the RSST server, if you go, or alternatively what you can do is you can log into replication server in a separate session, and you can issue a command admin disk_space. Okay, and if you issue that command multiple times, you will see there is difference each time. There will be difference in terms of data what was there in the queue. Okay, same thing you can validate, or you can see if you go to RSST server and go to rep RSST database, and then issue the command, select queue number, queue type, count star from RS segments, and you can just group it by queue number and queue type. So here actually I have altogether almost 100 GB of size in the queue. Okay, it is it's divided into multiple LDS segment. So here you will start seeing that the queue which was holding all the transactions, all the data, will start reducing. Okay, suppose it was occupied by like 35 GB or 40 GB. So with each second or each minute, you will see that it will start coming down to like 25 GB, 20 GB, 15 GB, like that. And finally it will come down to 0. Once it comes down to 0, how much time will that take? That again depends on so many factors, as I said earlier. So once it comes down to 0, then you will see that the command which you had issued earlier, which was a drop connection, that will be succeeded, and it will come to the next line. Okay, so that what was stuck before, it will return to you the next like prompt. Okay, so once this is done, then only you will get the command like command back on the replication server, right? And this will happen once the queue gets completely drained out for that particular LDS connection, for that particular queue number. Okay, in that case, in that one I am just saying above command for dropping connection at a rep server will be completed. Since queue will be completely drained out, no need of setting LTM marker. Generally we set LTM marker at 0 at the RSST side. So in this case, we have to wait until the queue gets completely drained out. Once that is done, then you don't need to issue that command. This is how it worked for me. You try at your server, at your environment, and in case it doesn't work out, do let me know, please. Okay, so once this has happened, then you telnet replication server again, and then you need to create connection. This is something that you are doing from kind of scratch, okay, for that database, not for other databases, only the database which was having this issue. So this is a basic command that create connection to secondary server dot database name, and then what is it is actually the LDS name. Okay, so RS and the user password, whatever it is, and then LDS not DB name, this is standard command. And then you issue the dump marker. This is where the dump marker gets issued. Okay. Once this is done, then you will get that it has been created. Okay. So this command will create the logical connection between replication server and DR. However, the status will be suspended. Okay, that you can find it out by issuing the command admin who is down. Okay, you will see it is suspended. Now what you do is, now you take the fresh backup on the primary server. Okay, you issue the full backup. Now it knows where is the marker on the replication server. So we can take the full backup now. This is something that you know, dump database, you can use compress and know whatever thing, stripe and all that. Here I am using compression 5. Okay. Once this is done, once the backup is completed, then what you do is, then you do the file transfer from primary to secondary server, which is your, you can say, production server to DR server. If the firewall is open. If the firewall is not open, then how you will do is, you will copy them into flash drive, or you will copy to your PC, and then from your PC you can transfer to DR, depending on your environment, depending on the setup that you have, network setup. So here I have given the command for SCP, okay, and the file name and the it would be login name at secondary server name, which will be your DR. Okay. Then if you're doing for the very first time, then these things will happen. So I have just given it for the reference in case you are doing it for the very first time. Okay. So this is something that I had multiple files because I'm using Stripe. So I have transferred all of them. So once this is done, then you go to secondary server. Then what you do is you load database. This is normal thing. At this point of time, we have reached to the stage because connection has already been created, and now we are taking the backup on the primary, copy to secondary server, and now we are loading it, right? So load the database depending on the size and depending on the infrastructure of your server at secondary server. This will take a while, and then you issue the online command, right? So now it is online. While this process is happening, just keep in mind, now we have the connection already created. So while you are taking the backup, while you are transferring the file from primary to secondary, while you are loading the database on secondary server, your queue will start filling up again. Okay. You can cross check, you can check that at the RSST server using select queue number, queue type from RS segments and group by that, or alternatively, you can go to replication server and issue the command admin disk_space. Both ways you can find it out. Then you telnet to replication server, okay, and what you issue the command is resume connection to that server which was down before. You just resume the connection. Once you do that, then this is up and running. You can cross check admin who is down. You will see everything is up and running. There is no issue at all. You can check the health of replication server as I have covered in one of the video how to do the health checkup. So just issue the command admin who, admin health, admin logical_status, and admin disk_space. You can also issue sysmon command which is covered in that video. Okay, and once you do that, then you will see that after a few seconds the queue will start draining out slowly, and the transaction which was there in the queue will be transferred to secondary server. You can find that issuing the same command, RS segments. Okay, so this is something which will re-initialize the replication between primary and secondary server without impacting the MSA setup. As I said, I have two setup. One is warm standby, other one is MSA setup. So I have re-initialized the replication between primary and secondary of warm standby without impacting the MSA setup. Okay, so this is all the script. Actually, this I have prepared myself. I tried to find on the internet is there anything like this. I couldn't really find it. So this was experimental. I took some risk which is calculated from my end, that what all thing could happen, what could go wrong. Okay, I didn't want to redo the replication for reporting server. which was through MSA. Okay, so I hope this will help you, and all the scripts will be available. Okay, but I'll put it for the things in case you want to use them. It could be there on my site. Okay, you can find them. So in case you like them, so please do like, and comments are very important. Please do let me know in case you want me to cover something else, or you want me to cover more advanced topic, or anything that you want me to do that. Okay, and for keep yourself informed and alerted, please subscribe my channel. Okay, so that will be all for today. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day. Thank you. Bye.